What if the most dangerous thing about older men living alone is loneliness, illness, or money, but a quiet misunderstanding about what's really happening inside their lives? Let me ask you this. Why do many men over 65 say they're fine, while their health, motivation, and social world slowly shrink? There's a gap between what older men believe about independence and what the data actually shows. And in that gap, something important is missing. Early clues are easy to miss. Older men living alone often appear self-sufficient. They keep routines. They downplay problems. They avoid asking for help. From the outside, it looks like strength, but researchers studying aging men noticed a pattern decades ago that most people still don't talk about. Living alone changes men differently than it changes women. The full truth stays hidden for years. To understand why, we need to follow the cause and effect timeline that leads millions of American men to live alone later in life. It starts in early adulthood. The origins of this issue begin with how men are taught to define worth. For much of the 20th century in the United States, male identity was tightly linked to providing, working, and solving problems alone. Emotional independence was praised. Dependence was framed as weakness. Sociologists studying post-war American families found that men were encouraged to rely on work for structure and on spouses for emotional connection. The cause was cultural training. The effect was emotional outsourcing. Men learned how to function, not how to process. They learned how to fix, not how to share. This worked well during busy working years, when roles were clear and social contact was built into daily life. Then changes start quietly in the 40s. Work becomes more demanding, but social circles narrow. Friendships thin out as men prioritize careers and family responsibilities. Long-term American surveys show that by midlife, men report fewer close friendships than women, but they rarely see it as a problem yet. At the same time, health habits begin to slip. Preventive care declines. Men delay doctor visits. Stress increases. These shifts don't feel urgent. Life still has structure. But the foundation is quietly changing. Now comes the shift after 70 that most men ignore. Retirement removes daily structure. Spouses may pass away or experience illness. Divorce rates among older adults have increased over the past decades. Census data shows a steady rise in men over 70 living alone in the United States. Here's the twist few people mention. Living alone amplifies habits. Good habits help. Bad habits accelerate decline. Men who relied on spouses for social planning, emotional regulation, and health monitoring suddenly face silence. Many don't feel lonely right away. They feel relieved, free, independent. This is where the mystery deepens. Why does research show that older men living alone face higher risks even when they say they're okay? The breaking point usually arrives quietly. It might be a fall that goes unnoticed, a missed medical appointment, a slow loss of appetite, or long stretches without meaningful conversation. According to American aging studies, men living alone are significantly less likely to seek help early when problems arise. The cause is delayed response. The effect is compounded risk. This is when the hidden costs start to show. Health fallout is the most documented. U.S. health surveys reveal that older men living alone have higher rates of unmanaged chronic conditions. Heart disease, diabetes, and depression often progress further before detection. Men are also more likely to experience severe outcomes from preventable issues simply because no one notices the early signs. Financial fallout follows closely. Living alone often means fixed income strain without shared expenses. Men may struggle with budgeting, medical bills, or home maintenance. Pride prevents asking for help. Small financial stress becomes chronic anxiety. Lifestyle fallout is quieter, but just as powerful. Days lose shape. Motivation drops. Physical activity declines. Cognitive engagement fades. Research from American longitudinal studies shows that isolation combined with inactivity accelerates cognitive decline more than age alone. Now comes the question many seniors ask: why don't the usual fixes work? Men try what they've always done. They tough it out, they distract themselves. They avoid vulnerability, they assume independence means handling everything alone. This is the failed fix rooted in old advice. Another failed fix is waiting for family to check in, waiting for motivation to return, waiting for life to feel normal again. It doesn't. Now let's reveal the 5 surprising facts every older man living alone needs to know. The first surprising fact: living alone is not the same as being independent. Studies show that men who actively build support systems while living alone do far better than those who isolate. Independence without connection increases risk, not strength. The second surprising fact: men experience loneliness differently. Research shows older men are less likely to label their feelings as loneliness. Instead, it shows up as fatigue, irritability, or apathy. This makes it harder to recognize and address early. The third surprising fact: small social contact has outsized benefits. American studies found that even brief, regular interactions significantly reduce depression and cognitive decline in older men. You don't need a crowd, you need consistency. The fourth surprising fact: health outcomes improve when someone else knows your routine. Men living alone who share health updates or schedules with one trusted person have better medication adherence and faster response to health issues. The fifth surprising fact, and this one surprises many: older men who intentionally live alone but stay socially engaged often report higher life satisfaction than married men who feel emotionally disconnected. Living alone isn't the problem. Disengagement is. Now let's bring this to today. Across millions of seniors in the United States, the pattern repeats: men who adapt to living alone thrive. Men who cling to old definitions of strength struggle. So, what can you do starting now? First, direct action. Build a visibility habit. Make sure someone notices you regularly: a neighbor, a friend, a group. Regular check-ins are protective, not weak. Second, direct action. Add structure where work used to be. Schedule physical movement, social contact, and purpose-driven activity into your week. Research shows structure protects both mental and physical health. Third, direct action. Redefine strength. Strength at this stage of life is knowing when to reach out. Men who ask for support early avoid crises later. Now the warning. Based on evidence, here is the clear warning. Prolonged isolation combined with delayed help-seeking dramatically increases the risk of severe health events in older men. Waiting until something feels serious often means it already is. And here's the open thought to leave you with. If independence doesn't mean doing everything alone anymore, what could it mean instead at this stage of your life? If this helps you see living alone differently, do like, leave a comment, and share this with someone who needs it. And for the next chapter, where we talk about the habits that quietly protect men's health after 75, subscribe now so you don't miss what's coming next.